I don't know if I can go to our YouTube, or how do I get to how do I get to our YouTube? Okay, I see it live. Yeah, yeah, for the world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Hey, that's all you gotta do is the minimum of what you need to make the difference. But see, Kim, you have all those talents, and I needed you to be teaching somebody all of those talents for a while now. I like YouTube for live streaming too, quite frankly.
Good evening, everybody. Just about. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And Margaret, I heard you loud and clear.
Thank you.
This is good. I'm going to change my name. God bless you. Liz, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. Brad, Chuck, Kim should be here in a minute.
Cool.
I have a little welcome and opening that I need to say before you all get started on the actual interviews. So, one of the things that I would like to ask you before I do that is, do you want me to just introduce each one of you? Or I don't know who's going to lead the group. I believe you all decided that Kim would take that lead, maybe? No? Yes?
Anyone's fine with me. I'm here. I'm on the other.
Oh, you're on the other Baltimore County. Could you change your name, please? Could you rename yourself?
I don't know if it will let me do that.
Look at the little button, the little three dot button at the top of your square, and see if you can change your name.
I don't, tell me again, Dr. Wood, where that is. I don't
So
see it.
look at the square that if you talk, you speaking, it turns green, that little square. If you run the mouse over it, there's a little button near the top that has three dots in it. Click on those three dots. Rename should be in those buttons.
Rename, let's see. Um, I don't see it, but is it you? I'm sorry, you said that it's under more.
No, 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 no. It's in your actual square where if you turn your face on right now, Kim, in that square.
Okay, let me hold on. I'm coming off another call. Give me just a second.
Okay, no problem. There you go. You're right side up now.
Yeah. All right, so let's see.
So you see yourself in the square?
I do.
Okay, so run your mouse up to the right-hand corner of that square and you will see a little blue button with three dots in it.
Okay,
See
I
that?
see it.
Click on it and see if it has rename as one of the things you can do for that.
I see it. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
And yeah, that way it won't record you as Baltimore County.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Welcome. I know you know this stuff better than I do.
Yeah, took me a minute to figure that out. I'm switching gears, coming off another call and totally different topic. So,
Awesome. So I was just asking everyone if you guys are okay. How do you want to do it? Do you want me to just introduce each one of you, or is whoever's going to take the lead going to introduce the legislative 8 members?
whatever the group thinks, if you want to start, Dr. Wood, and just do your intro and, let people know why we're here. And then maybe from there, we can just do a quick round robin introductions,
Sounds
alphabetic.
good.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Works for me.
Harry is in the waiting room. Is there anything that you all need to do or say before he comes into the environment? And right now, I don't see any other members in the
Maybe because it's not 6 yet. Maybe they're just not coming in early.
you know what? You might be right. A lot of times people come in right on time. So we'll give them the opportunity to come on in. Chuck, are we not going to see you today? Chuck? Mr. Cropfelder, can you hear me?
Was trying to get to my unmute button. I'm sick of the dog, so no, you probably will not see me.
Okay. Just wanted to also make sure we could hear you because you have to ask questions as well. So wonderful. I'm glad that you can at least communicate with us. I saw you put the thumbs up earlier, so I wasn't sure.
I was just trying to get to the unmute button.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all.
Just as a little trick too, it's probably well known, but I only discovered it myself recently. If you're muted and you just hold down your space bar on whatever computer you're using it on, it unmutes you until you let go of the space bar. So that's a little easier than trying to fumble around for mute on the screen if you're looking to click something.
Look at that face of Liz. She just discovered something new.
Aren't I the coolest?
It is pretty cool, isn't it? I have the recording paused until we actually start, guys. So just so you know that, but it will start recording right after we get started.
Okay. Busy day.
Agreed with that too.
You say you too, Shannon?
Yeah, just a busy day at work and a busy day elsewise.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I went to update my laptop, which typically takes about 2 minutes, and it took 45 minutes. So I was holding my breath, hoping it would get updated before the meeting started.
I don't know. It's like the computer knows when you have something to do and it'll update, right? Just as you have a meeting or you need to be on.
Exactly.
I've been there. You know, one other thing too, is Dr. Wood still here?
I'm still on.
I don't think we'll have any problems with breakout, but if we do, I do have my Zoom. If we have problems trying to break out, and all of us aren't there, if anybody wants to, wants to have a backup, I'm fine with using my Zoom or offering my Zoom as a backup if we need to.
Do you have all of their phone numbers? So
Yes.
you can text them the link.
Yep. Yeah,
That
I
way
can
it'll be
send
quick
it.
and fast.
Yeah, I can. What is that okay with everybody if I just send them the meeting ID for my Zoom room if we do have problems with the breakout?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Uh, could one of you, I'm not sure who's the host, but could one of you make the co-host too? Make me a co-host rather, so that I can, if we have breakout room issues, I can try to activate the breakout room that way too.
Well, actually, I think I'm a co-host. I'm not even the host.
Oh,
And so I think Kim is actually the host. I'm the
oh,
co-host. So I don't know if you can have more than one co-host.
let's try it.
You can look and see.
Just did it.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
Shannon
know.
is supposed to do a lot of the technical stuff.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of technical stuff to be done, quite frankly. You guys will be here, you'll do the interviews, and then you'll go to the breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are pretty easy. You click on it. You are already pre-assigned to a breakout room, all 6 of you. So nobody else should be in that room but the 6 of you. And that'll be the gist of it. And then you'll when the breakout time is over, you'll come back into the main room and we close out from there, do the last of the activities we have to do. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of let's pray we don't have a lot of technical issues. Okay, we have some other participants, so welcome folks.
Harry just emailed me saying that he's waiting on Zoom.
Yeah, who, Harry Bandari?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been out there for about
Okay.
15 minutes. If you want, you can respond to him and say that we will bring him in right at 6 and open the meeting then. If I click on him, I will wind up admitting him, so I don't want to admit him just yet because we're still having some light conversation. Any questions, issues, or concerns, guys?
None here.
Good here.
Great.
I'm gonna admit the other folks that are not Delegate Bandari into the room, if that's okay.
That is absolutely fine, Shannon. Shazia, are you on?
You hear me?
Me
Yeah.
too.
All right, question. Anybody that's not does not have their name up, like this iPhone T5 or whatever it is, we need to know who they are. Agreed?
I'll go.
Yes. iPhone 15, please identify yourself.
Excuse me.
Yes, could you please identify yourself?
How do I do that?
Just tell us your name.
Josh Reed.
Thank you, Josh Reed. I'm going to put your name up, okay, Josh? Is that all right with you?
Thank you much, sir. Yes.
Thank
No
you for
worries.
identifying yourself, Josh.
Thank you for identification. There you go. You're no longer iPhone 15.
Is anything currently happening?
No, we're just 6 o'clock. The process starts, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I have very poor connection and my camera's not working. Sorry.
It's okay. You won't need to speak because this interview process is exclusive to District 8 members. And I'll give some more information on that particular point as I provide my welcome to you all.
Will I be getting an interview? I really, really need this job.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that again?
Will I be getting interviewed? I really need this job.
Mr. Reed, this is a interview process for a senatorial vacancy in District 8. And if you have not placed an application in for this process, then you will not be being interviewed for the role. We can let Mr. Delegate Bindari in, and I'm going to go ahead and start the process.
Right. Dr. Wood, I'm going to go ahead and unpause.
No problem.
Stop!
Sir, if we have another outburst from you during this process, we will remove you from these proceedings. So I would like for you to know at this point right now,
Oh,
if you,
please, I need the job.
sir, it would be very inappropriate for us to leave you in this meeting. So thank you for coming in and visiting this interview process.
Shut the fuck up.
Kim, you haven't unpaused, have you?
No.
Okay, good. All right, there are two people that are waiting in the waiting area. You can go ahead and let them in, Shannon. Welcome, delegate.
Hi, welcome.
Our proceedings are about to begin. You can begin our recording, Kim. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Baltimore County Democratic State Central Committee meeting. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Charlotte Wood. I am the chair of the Central Committee, and as such, it is my responsibility to ensure a public, open, and transparent process to fill the recently vacant senatorial seat for Legislative District 8. Legislative District 8 members will be conducting an interview process to select the best possible Democratic candidate for the constituents of their community and their legislative district. As participants, we request that each of you on the Zoom maintain your microphones in the muted mode. Anyone, as previously noted, that enters as a disruptor will be removed from the Zoom meeting. The only participants allowed to speak during this process are our candidates and the members of the Legislative District 8 area. You may feel free to stay on during the entire process. After the interviews are completed, there will be a period of private deliberation among the members of Legislative District 8, followed by public voting by the members of the same district. They will then provide their candidate recommendation to the Baltimore County Democratic State Central Committee, upon which time we will move to have another meeting, and we will put our meeting reminder out to all so that the Baltimore County Democratic State Central Committee can then vote, affirm the nomination that has been moved forward, and send a letter to the governor with that nomination. Now, with that being said, I would like to introduce the members of Legislative District 8. Please feel free to introduce yourselves in alphabetical order, starting with Miss Liz Brown.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth or Liz Brown from District 8.
Brad Croner from District 8.
Margaret Forte, District 8.
Chuck Cropfelder, District 8.
Hi, I'm Kim Ross, District 8.
And I'm Shannon Sheets from District 8.
You have now met all of the members of Legislative District 8. District 8, I now turn this meeting over into your hands.
Kim, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wood. We're going to go ahead and get started. Delegate Bhandari, I see you there. I saw you. Where'd you go?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to having a conversation with you. So you'll be asked, as you know, 12 questions that each district member will put forward to you. And we'd like you to stay within the 2-minute time frame, please, sir, with each of those questions, your responses. Before we do that, we will give you an opportunity to give an opening statement, and we'd like you to keep that to 3 minutes. And we will keep track of that and help us all stay on task with the interview here tonight. If that is okay with you, sir, we will get started.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I can start.
Opening statement. Yes,
Yeah.
you can start.
Good evening, Central Committee members. I deeply respect the role this Central Committee plays in shaping the future of our district, and it is an honor to stand before you here virtually. Together, we have the opportunity to ensure District 8 has a leader who will fight tirelessly for the values we share and the future we deserve. What does it mean to lead a community like District 8? For me, it means honoring the resilience, hard work, and hope that define our families, and ensuring that every District 8 constituents has access to the opportunity that transform my life. My journey here is personal, deeply tied to the struggle and aspiration of so many in this community. I grew up in a remote village in Nepal where electricity was a luxury for me. I studied by the light of kerosene lamp and walked 2 hours each way to school. When I came to Baltimore here, I worked a night shift at a gas station in Baltimore, standing behind the bulletproof glass window and waiting for the bus in freezing snow after long hours of night work. It is the real American dream that I'm representing District 8 in the Maryland General Assembly, getting elected twice as a top vote getters. Every day as I walk from my office to the House chamber, I'm inspired by Maryland's rich legacy. On my left, Thurgood Marshall stands as a beacon of resilience, of justice, who contributed a lot as a lawyer in landmark cases like Brown versus Board of Education. On my right, Governor Westmore residence symbolizes the progress and promises that no one is left behind. These symbols fuel my commitment to serve District 8 with dedication and purpose. And District 8 and Maryland face unique challenges: overcrowded schools, the rising cost of healthcare, and the urgent need for climate resilience and a safe neighborhood. As your senator, I'll focus on strengthening our public school, creating pathways for economic growth, investing in renewable energy, and ensuring every senior has the resources they need to age with dignity. These are not just policies, they are the promises I will fight to deliver for the families of District 8. And this is built on the shared values, family perseverance, and belief that we can all succeed. If given the chance, I'm ready to bring my experience, determination, and vision to the Senate. And I humbly ask for your support to continue building a future where every family in District 8 can thrive.
Thank you, Delegate Bhandari. We'll start with the first question.
Great. Good evening, Delegate Bhandari. It might be a little difficult to keep this question answer to 2 minutes, but we'll ask you to do that. Why do you want to serve as senator for District 8, and what qualifications would you bring to the Senate?
Thank you. District 8 represents, as I said, resilience, hard work, and opportunity. I've lived that journey. From working night shift at a Baltimore gas station, passing transformative laws, this community is my home where I built my family, fought for resources, and created an opportunity. I want to serve as senator to ensure every family District 8 has the tool to thrive. I bring 7 years in public office and 18 years as an educator, high school principal, textbook author. That gave me a deep understanding of the challenges facing our schools, families, and neighborhood. Since 2019, I've passed nearly 24 bills on healthcare, education, public safety, and equity, including Maryland Emergency Department Wait Time Reduction Commission. That's the worst in the nation, 4 hours and some minutes waiting time, funding for new school together with my District 8 colleagues, and the nation first law, barring registered sex offender from attending school in person. That incident took place in our district at our local school. I fought to save affordable healthcare, support vulnerable population with access to care act bill, and address the challenge of mental health care in our community. I bring both legislative experience and an academic foundation with a PhD in political participation and linguistic integration. This background has deepened my understanding of community needs, diversity, and the value of effective communication. It has equipped me to approach policymaking thoughtfully using research-driven, evidence-based solution to address complex issues and to better engage and support underrepresented voices in our state. And as a chair of Maryland Legislative Caucus, I've championed diversity, equity, and inclusion, amplifying underrepresented voices and ensuring families. My leadership has turned District 8 into a democratic stronghold, flipping All three delegates sit in a historically Republican district. As a senator, I'll fight for a new high school in District 8 and address overcrowding, invest in clean energy for jobs, expand healthcare access, and ensure safer communities through public safety reform. These priorities are not just policies, they are promises. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Bhandari. My question to you, shall I give you a breather or a minute? That was a mouthful. However, yes, okay. What do you consider to be one of your greatest achievements or contribution on behalf of the community?
Thank you. One of my proudest achievements has been securing funding for 2 schools in our district and ensuring resources for critical infrastructure and community projects like park renovation and recreational centers, together with my colleagues. These initiatives have a direct, tangible impact on the lives of families in District 8 and creating a space for learning, growth, and connections. Another deeply personal milestone was passing bipartisan legislation to support the deaf and hard of hearing community. This effort ensures access to essential resources, higher education opportunity, and perhaps most meaningfully, the simply joy of inclusion. One example is the first in the nation bill outside Hawaii requiring movie theater to offer open captioning during certain screening. This legislation allowed deaf and hard of hearing individuals, senior parents, and English learners to enjoy movies with the same access and engagement as everybody else. Passing this bill was not easy. It took years of advocacy and unwavering determination, but it taught me a powerful lesson. It takes courage to stand up for the most vulnerable among us. When I walked the stage to accept the National Legislative Award for this groundbreaking bill in Chicago last year, it was a surreal and deeply emotional moment. I felt immense gratitude for my colleagues in the Maryland General Assembly, our great governor, and the District 8 constituents who entrusted me with the opportunity to fight for change. Their collaboration, support, and belief in a more inclusive future made this achievement possible. These experiences reinforce my commitment to advocating for those who often go unheard, whether they are student, immigrant, or vulnerable population. It is these moments of progress that drive me to continue serving and delivering for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Bhandari. How have you supported the Democratic Party and our platform, and how do you intend to do so as a member of the state Senate?
Thank you. My commitment to the Democratic Party runs deep and spans decades of grassroots organizing, leadership role, and legislative accomplishment. I had the pleasure of serving on the Baltimore County State Central Committee from 2018 to 2022 with so many of your colleagues here, where I worked to strengthen Democratic Party locally, support candidates who represent our shared values. I began as a vice chair of Baltimore County Young Democrats and later served as a national secretary of Young Democrats of America. These roles gave me the opportunity to travel extensively, promoting democratic values and mobilizing community to engage in the political process. In 2008 and 12, I knocked over 10,000 doors for President Obama, driving a van and canvassing tirelessly in neighboring districts. During the most recent presidential election alone, I organized a team of 55 volunteers to travel to Battleground, Pennsylvania, where we knocked thousands of doors to mobilize voters. Initiatives like Napolis for Hillary, Napolis American for Biden are examples of my dedication to engaging underrepresented community in the democratic process. My porch always filled with Democratic yard signs. During the election cycle is a reflection of my unwavering commitment to the party. As a delegate, I have advanced democratic values through legislative action, passing nearly so many bills focused on affordable healthcare, equitable education, climate action, public safety, and so forth. These accomplishments include initiatives like Maryland Emergency Department wait time or other bills. In the Senate, I will continue to build on this foundation by fighting for universal healthcare, workforce training, climate resilience, and protection for immigrant community. I will leverage my experience as a grassroots organizer, advocate, and legislator to ensure that our shared democratic vision becomes reality. My passion for fostering inclusion and opportunity will guide my work to advance the principle of the Democratic Party and serve the people of District 8. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Bhandari. What are your top 3 priorities if you are appointed as senator, and what would be your legislative goals for the current session?
Thank you so much. My top 3 priorities are public safety, strengthen gun control laws, and expand mental health service to prevent tragedy like the one that claimed one of the students, Sagar Gimere. I introduced the bill in General Assembly. I have lost one of the kids in public school, and I introduced the conflict resolution bill and affordable housing, increased incentive for developers to build affordable housing and implementation policies to prevent displacement of vulnerable residents. And the education, advocate for more funding to modernize school. We want to save this blueprint for Maryland future, educator, and expand mental health resources for students and implement a conflict resolution program. And for the current session, I'll prioritize these issues. Then we have to save our vulnerable population as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Bhandari. What current positions do you currently hold that you would need to resign from?
This is the easiest question. I currently serve as
You're welcome.
I currently serve as a state delegate, and if I'm selected, I will step down from this role and become a senator for District 8.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Delegate. Thanks for coming in tonight. So our new president, Donald Trump, has promised a mass deportation of immigrants. What could you do as a state senator to help ensure the protection of immigrants here in Maryland?
Thank you. As an immigrant myself, this is the easiest question. I know the fear that grips families when they are told they do not belong. But let me say this. In Maryland, we do not turn our backs on the tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Mercy is the key for this state. One of the wealthiest in the nation is also one of the most generous. I'll fight to ensure Maryland remains a safe haven. I'm working with caucus members and organizations to protect these families, to strengthen sanctuary laws, and to expand funding for legal aid. I'll follow the lead of our Attorney General, Anthony Brown, who issued guidance 5 hours ago, preventing state and local law enforcement from collaborating with the federal immigration enforcement without proper judicial oversight. By prioritizing community trust and constitutional right, I'll work to protect vulnerable population, uphold our values, and ensure our state resources are used to support our residents, not to instill fear. Under the 10th Amendment, states are not obligated to enforce federal immigration laws or cooperate with the federal deportation effort until and unless they work with the state. The amendment reserves power not explicitly granted to the federal government for the state, allowing them to exercise discretion in matters like law enforcement priority. This principle supports state and local government in deciding not to use their resources to assist with mass deportation. I'll champion policies that protect dreamers and create pathways to citizenship, because this land was built by dreamers and it thrives on the home of those who dare to believe in its promise. It's a question of who came when. We all are immigrants. Let us not turn away from our highest ideals. Together, we can ensure our state remains a beacon of hope and testament to the power of inclusion, compassion, and justice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What committee would you like to serve on in the Senate and why? And if you are assigned to the Senate Finance Committee, what would be your legislative priorities on that committee?
Yeah, thank you so much. During my time on the Health and Government Operations Committee, I've had the privilege of getting a lot done, passing many of my own bills, co-sponsoring close to 1,000 others over the past 6 years. Most of these bills went over to the Senate Finance Committee, and I've worked closely with their members to make sure important legislation got across the finish line, whether it was an emergency department wait time reduction bill or protecting and safeguarding the Affordable Care Act or making prescription drug more affordable. I've seen firsthand how crucial the Finance Committee role in shaping policies that truly impact Marylander. The Finance Committee covers a wide range of issues that touch every aspect of people's lives, things like healthcare, community development, transportation, and insurance. These are areas I've worked on directly during my time in AGO, and I've built a strong relationship with members of the Finance Committee to push key legislation forward. My work on AGO has really focused on tackling these tough problems: healthcare access, public health, long-term care, and protecting vulnerable population. Those are the kind of issues that overlap with what the Finance Committee does every day. Having worked so closely with the committee, I'm confident I can hit the ground running and build on that partisanship and keep delivering results that makes a real difference for our district and for Marylander. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. My question to you, excuse me, excuse me. How do you propose government can make life in Maryland more affordable? What would you do as a senator to help to offset the high cost of inflation?
Thank you. Making life more affordable for Maryland is a top priority. And as a senator, I would champion several initiatives to address high cost and inflation. Number one, affordable housing. And I will support legislation like the Housing Expansion and Affordability Act to remove barriers to housing construction, increasing the supply of affordable homes. And healthcare cost reduction. As an advocate and co-sponsor of the bill, we have passed the Prescription Drug Affordability Board. It must be the first in the nation to set price caps on high cost medication, making essential prescription more accessible. If our constituents cannot afford the medicine, it doesn't work. And it was vetoed by then Governor Hogan, and we overrode the veto. And we have to accomplish a lot through this legislation as well. And another is energy efficiency and saving, promote the utilization of tax credit and rebates from Inflation Reduction Acts to help families invest in energy efficient appliances and home improvement, leading to lower utility bill. And of course, the economic development, encourage investment in small businesses and infrastructure projects to stimulate job growth and provide better service to communities. Education workforce training, always number one. Invest in education and vocational training program to equip residents with skill for high demand industry, leading to better job opportunity and financial stability. I propose expanding tax credit for working families, capping utility rates, and increasing state investment in affordable childcare and housing. As a senator, I'll advocate for reducing these healthcare premiums and prescription drug costs while working to create incentive for small businesses to generate jobs and boost local economies. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Delegate Bhandari. You touched on this in the beginning of your last question, but wanted to ask, what are your plans for addressing the housing crisis in Baltimore County and the state of Maryland?
Thank you. To address Maryland housing crisis, I'll expand state funding for affordable housing programs like the Maryland Affordable Housing Trust and incentivize developers to build affordable units through tax credits and grants. I'll champion rent stabilization measure to protect tenants from skyrocketing rents and arbitrary evictions, while pushing for stronger laws to prevent predatory landlord practices and displacement, especially for a vulnerable population. Additionally, I will work together, not by myself, with our colleagues. We'll modernize zoning laws to allow for more affordable housing options. And we have wonderful county executive now, Kathy Klasmeyer. So together we'll work in such a multifamily units and accessory dwelling, while protecting community input in the environment. Expanding support for first-time home buyers through down payment assistance, lower interest loan would also be a key priority. During the pandemic, I was at Parkville High School every weekend distributing food alongside the Baltimore Student Network to support those in need. And sometime when the food would run out, and I would go and use my credit card and buy the food.
They are very cute.
Building on this commitment, I'm dedicated to creating an excellent shelter for our homeless population, ensuring they'll have access to safety, dignity, and resources for a better future. These steps will ensure Maryland families have access to safe, affordable housing and the stability they need to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Bhandari. What are your plans to address public safety?
Yes, thank you. Public safety is deeply personal to me, set by a heartbreaking experience that I will never forget. I alluded to it in the beginning. I introduced the Sagar Gimre Act after the tragic loss of Sagar, a promising student, was killed by a gun in hands of someone struggling with mental health illness. This tragedy underscored the urgent need to strengthen our red flag laws to ensure firearms are kept out of the hands of individuals who pose a threat to themselves or others. I also witnessed the devastating effects of violence firsthand when one of my students lost his life in a school parking lot, his blood staining the ground where he should have felt safe. That moment drove me to introduce a conflict resolution bill. I did not go to bed for so many days, and I drafted the bill. Focus on giving students the tool to resolve dispute peacefully and prevent violence before it starts. As a senator, I will build on these efforts by fixing and strengthening red flag laws, investing in mental health crisis intervention, enhancing violence prevention program, and strengthening the gun control, and expand upon the community policing, supporting programs that build trust between law enforcement and community to create safer neighborhood. This session, I'm introducing the bill, how these different different police department can work together, updating their software and their mechanism and stuff like that. And public safety, for me, is not just a legislative priority. It is a personal mission. I'm committed to preventing senseless violence as an educator and ensuring our schools, neighborhood, and community are safe for every Marylander, basically for my district as well. Together, we can honor the memories of those we have lost by building a future where everyone feels secure and protected.
Thank you very much, Dr. Delegate Bhandari. So as senator, how will you fight to protect the rights of vulnerable populations and protected classes? Are there any specific policies you might propose or advocate for as senator?
Yeah, thank you. Protecting the rights for vulnerable population is not just a legislative duty. It is the moral calling. We have devoted, so many of us, like career to standing up for those whose voices are often silenced and whose struggle are too easily overlooked. When I did fight for one bill that protect access to gender affirmative care, that was on my committee, I did so with the unwavering belief that every individual deserves dignity and the freedom to lives as their true self. And I want to work more on it. I work tirelessly with colleagues addressing concern, building consensus, and ultimately we passed this legislation, but that's not enough. Like based on the national political climate, that fight was about more than a bill. It was about justice. As a floor leader, I've stood on the House floor to defend transformative bills that uplift vulnerable population. And we champion the Access to Care Act, ensuring that every individual in Maryland, regardless of immigration status, has access to life-saving healthcare. We want to make sure that we expand this and protect so many bills that we have passed for a vulnerable one and introduce new. Despite resistance, I collaborated with caucus leaders and did hard work to push this forward. This legislation does not just save lives, it also reduced the $130 million spent annually on uncompensated care, easing the burden on taxpayers. I've witnessed the struggle of parents unable to provide for their children, which inspired me to fight for the Healthy Baby Act, ensuring every child born in Maryland has access to vital healthcare. These moments taught me that leadership is not about seeking easy victories. It is about taking on the tough fights that truly matter. And I will keep on doing that. Let me be clear. Every person, immigrant or native born, young or old, LGBTQ or cisgender, deserve to live with dignity, free from fear and discrimination. As a senator, I'll continue to champion policies that uplift the vulnerable, expand equity in healthcare, housing, education, and protect the freedom that every Marylander deserves. Together, we will build a Maryland where justice flows freely and opportunity belongs to all.
Thank you, Delegate. I really appreciate that answer as a member of the LGBT community myself. Our final question tonight is about our district here. Former Senator Klausmeyer, and our county executive, was really a great leader of our team here in District 8 with all the delegates, the Central Committee, our county councilmen, and she'd like to foster that unity here in the district. How would you plan to continue that partnership here in District 8 as state senator?
Thank you so much for your leadership as well. Senator Klausmeyer was a true leader and the heart of the District 8 team. Her election as Baltimore County first female county executive was a historical moment, and I was honored to attend our swearing-in ceremony with so many of you on January 7th, 2025. I wish her all the best as she began this new chapter of leadership, continuing her incredible legacy of service. I must say, I have some of the fondest memories working alongside Senator in the General Assembly and on the campaign trail too. Those experiences taught me the value of teamwork and the strength of our shared commitment to serving District 8. Together, we were able to accomplish so much for the district. And I would like to thank Delegate Jackson, Delegate Allen for their tireless dedication to making a difference, and Delegate Eric Bramwell as well. As a senator, I'll continue to foster the same spirit of collaboration that define our work, ensuring a strong partnership with the District 8 Central Committee. I'll maintain open communication, listen to concern, and work hand in hand with the committee to build on the progress we have made. By working together, we can honor Senator Klausmeyer's legacy and ensure that District 8 remains a place of service, inclusion, and success for all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Delegate Bhandari. That concludes the questions that we have for you tonight. So we'd like to give you about 3 minutes, please, to give us any closing remarks if you have any that you'd like to share with us.
Thank you so much for everybody for a wonderful leadership. If the Central Committee selects me, you will make history by electing the first Nepali American, South Asian, to the Maryland State Senate. This moment will send a clear message to the 500,000 Asian Americans in our state and the 21 million across the nation, as well as our Latino communities, that the Democratic Party and other minority committee is their home, a party that values inclusion, representation, and opportunity for all. District 8 is where I built my family and my life. And this country and the community has given me a tremendous opportunity. It is a place that represents hope, a place where someone like me, who started working night shift at a gas station, could rise to serve in the Maryland General Assembly. My story is not about me. It's about what this district stands for: opportunity, progress, shared values. This is a critical time for our party and our community. Families are feeling the weight of overcrowded schools, rising healthcare costs, and public safety concern. As your senator, I'll fight for affordable healthcare, better schools, safer neighborhood, and sustainable future. These are not just policies, they are promises I intend to keep. While visiting a constituents who struggle with a faulty blood pressure monitor, I saw firsthand the quiet struggle of so many seniors in our community, the struggle to protect their health with limited resources. Moved by their story, I introduced a bill to ensure that every senior citizen had access to blood pressure monitoring devices, because no one should have to choose between their health and affordability. Despite its high fiscal notes, I fought for this bill because our seniors deserve dignity, care, and the tools to live healthy life. Their well-being is not a privilege, it is a right, and I will always stand to defend it. By selecting me, you send a resounding message that the Democratic Party leads with diversity, inclusion, and meaningful action. Together, we can ensure our state remains a beacon of progress, equity, and opportunity for all. Since being elected, I've worked tirelessly to keep the government transparent and accountable, publishing weekly legislative newsletter during the session and monthly update during the interim. By selecting me, you will be electing a senator who is not only one of the hardest working delegates, but someone deeply committed to serving every constituent with unwavering dedication. I humbly ask for your trust, your support, and your vote to continue this journey of progress together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Delegate Bhandari. We do not have more questions for you, but we thank you for your time, and we want to ask that you exit the room. And if you'd like to join back online, you have the details regarding that for the final vote after deliberation. If you are not immediately readmitted into the room, please just hang out in the waiting room. We will see you there, and we will let you back in.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Wood, any remarks before we let the second candidate in the room?
Very good job. Thank you so much for your attention to detail. I appreciate all the wonderful questions that you've asked. You certainly have the ability here to have some competitive interest in your candidates. So I would say that let's move on forward and have our next candidate come on board.
Before we move on, can we address who iPhone is online?
Mr. Cropfelder, I think that is an excellent idea. Before we admit Delegate Jackson, let's clarify the iPhone, because if we have an interruption as we had earlier, the person will be removed completely from the meeting. So there is an iPhone 3. If you could identify yourself, please. Would the person on the iPhone 3 please identify themselves?
Someone just sent a message in the chat that belongs to Yolanda Harris.
Is that person on two devices? Because I actually saw her name.
Or maybe not. That person may just be announcing that they've entered the room. Let me try to get clarity on that.
Yeah, Yolanda, one device. Does that mean that we can see her identified as Yolanda Harris, and therefore this is not her on the iPhone?
I don't know. I just sent her a message to clarify that if she is also iPhone 3. No, we're not getting it. Oh, she said no, that's not her.
I'm going to, whoever you are, since you have not responded to us, unfortunately, I'm going to remove you. Earlier, we had someone on an iPhone that was extremely disruptive, and we don't want that to be a part of our proceedings. So I'm going to ask that you either identify yourself or I will remove you from the meeting. So thank you so much for trying to assist us, and we can rename you if you identify yourself.
Dr. Wood, I just want to make sure it's not me, Sandra Scordalis, because I can't tell if mine is. Can you see my name?
I can see your name, Sandra.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And if I do kick you out, I'm going to have my phone near me, Sandra. So just know that you can text me and ask me to put you back in. But I am removing iPhone 3. I have no response. Mr. Sheets,
Yes.
while you are all doing the interview process, I will continue to allow people into the room. I have a little bit more time to process these differences. So if you agree to that, I will go ahead and proceed with doing that forward.
Sure, that's fine.
All right, wonderful. And Ms. Ross, if you want to go ahead and allow the delegate to enter and welcome him, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay. I don't see him in the room now, so he may be having a technical issue, or he may be just jumped out and will come back into the room. We'll need to give him, let's give him another minute and see.
Okay, let me look down
He
the
was there
list.
just a moment ago.
Yeah, he was there like just seconds ago.
Okay.
I'm going to mute myself and I'll see if I can reconnect. I don't know if he got kicked out or he stepped out. Let me see if I can reach out.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Ms. Dorsey, I do see your hand there, but we are not, tonight, we're not accepting any remarks or comments from the gallery. But if you would like to just drop a message in the chat, it's going to be, it should show up as a direct message. to the host, then we can see what your comment is and address it that way.
Ms. Ross, I just admitted Delegate Jackson.
Great.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you
Awesome.
for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So you missed out, I think, on the introduction. So I suppose we can just do that briefly. I don't know that. Did we do that? Remind me, did we do that for Delegate Bhandari? I think you guys know us. So
Well, Delegate Bhandari was here for the entire welcoming process because he was first. So let me welcome you, Delegate Jackson, to the interviewing process for Legislative District 8, your district, of course.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you probably know all of the members of this district. However, I would like to say, welcome. And I'm going to ask each of the members, although you may know them, to introduce themselves alphabetically as we did for the earlier candidate. So we'll start with Ms. Brown and then go through the process, and then they'll go into their interviewing process.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ross.
yep.
Welcome, Delegate Jackson. I am Liz Brown from District 8.
Hi, Liz.
Margaret Forte, District 8.
Margaret.
Good evening, Delegate Jackson. Brad Croner, District 8.
Brad.
Chuck Cropfelder, District 8.
Chuck.
Kim, you're muted.
Good evening, Delegate Jackson. This is Kim Ross, District 8.
Hi, Kim.
Good evening, Delegate. This is Shannon Sheets, District 8.
Shannon.
Okay. So thank you for joining us, Delegate Jackson. We're happy to speak with you tonight about the Senate vacancy. Thanks for your interest. We do have 12 questions for you that we'd like to give you 2 minutes to address each question. And before we do that, we want to give you 3 minutes for an introduction. If you do have anything that you'd like to say before we get into the questions, please.
Sure. All right. Good evening, District 8 Central Committee members. 5.5 years ago, when this committee endorsed me to fill an open District 8 delegate seat, it was one of the proudest moments of my life. I come before you today in similar circumstances to humbly ask for your support and your vote to become District 8's next senator. While nobody can replace Senator Klossmeyer, now County Executive Klossmeyer, I know that I have the experience and the passion to be a worthy successor to her legacy. For over a half a decade, I have worked tirelessly on behalf of my constituents. District 8, as you know, is a diverse district made up of communities at all levels of the economic spectrum and of cultures from all over the globe. Unfortunately, one thing that has been made evident to me during my time in the legislature is that not all communities have always enjoyed the same level of investment or the same access to the levers of government. I have made it my mission to bring government services to everyone and to do everything I can to make sure that all communities benefit from what state government has to offer. In some cases, this has been new parks, school upgrades, or rec centers, while in others, it has been additional recreational programming, crime walks, or helping to form local community associations. Each community is different, and each one has different needs. What is important is that each and everyone has access to their elected officials and has the ability to express their needs with the understanding that they will not only be heard, but that their needs will be met. This has been my guiding light as delegate, and it will continue to be my guiding light as District 8's next senator. Since being sworn in as delegate just before the 2020 legislative session, I have become an experienced legislator and have developed a strong understanding of General Assembly, forging relationships with members from both sides of the aisle, as well as with many like-minded organizations who strive to better the lives of their members. I wanted to share just a few names of those individuals and organizations who have publicly endorsed their support for me as District 8 next senator. Congressman and former Baltimore County Executive Johnny Olszewski, my colleague, Delegate Nick Allen, who represents District 8 with me in the House, 1199 SCIU United Healthcare Workers East, SEIU Local 500, AFSCME Maryland Council 3, and the Fraternal Order of Police Baltimore County Lodge 4. Together, we have accomplished great things, and I truly believe we have made District 8, Baltimore County, and Maryland a better place to live. With that in mind, I humbly ask for your support and your vote to be District 8's next senator. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll get started with the first question. And again, we have 12 questions total. And we'd like you to try to keep responses to 2 minutes, and we'll just keep an eye on that to help keep us on task. Thanks.
Okay. Yep.
Great. Well, good evening again, Delegate Jackson.
Good
I'll
evening.
start off with a good one. Why do you want to serve as Senator for District 8, and what qualifications would you bring to the Senate?
Well, thank you for that question, Liz. I want to serve as senator to be a voice for the voiceless and to represent all communities in our district and to help constituents who are in need. As I've said before, fighting for equity in government is my top priority. Too often, disenfranchised communities have less access to the political process. That's why I have fought to make investments in all communities, especially those who have been historically underserved. Also, I have cultivated the legislative relationships and built the business and community partnerships to be a successful delegate. These relationships will be invaluable to me in the Senate as well. Lastly, I have worked with my District 8 colleagues to bring over $6.6 million in capital investments to our communities, from everything from schools to community centers to parks and playgrounds. As Senator, I will continue to fight for additional investments for our district.
My question to you, Delegate Jackson, what do you consider to be one of your greatest achievements or contribution on behalf of the community?
Well, my greatest achievement is the Rosedale RAC, which stands for the Recreation Activity Center. This is a project that I started back in 2017 as an advocate. I brought community leaders together to advocate for a community center in the Rosedale area. This was a project very near and dear to my heart as a young man. The rec center was a lifeline for me. It kept me out of trouble. It kept me from doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, and it gave me access to athletics and things of that nature. So I was proud to fight and advocate for the Rosedale Rec, working with our local and state partners to deliver this $12.6 million project to the Rosedale area. This is a center that will serve everyone from youth to our seniors, and I'm just elated that we have a center that we can walk to from our homes here in Rosedale, and this was definitely the greatest achievement, being a delegate for our community.
Thank you.
How have you supported the Democratic Party and the Democratic platform, and how do you intend to do so as a member of the state Senate?
Oh, thank you for that question. I will continue to fight for the fundamental ideals of our Democratic Party, as I have done throughout my tenure as delegate, by supporting legislation in the areas of equity and diversity, women's rights, working families. And on the working families, I was proud to support the Fight for 15 in 2019 and 2023. I believe that democratic value is supporting our working families, and I was so proud to support that legislation during both legislative sessions. Also, opportunities for small and minority-owned businesses and environmental protections and job training and apprenticeships. That's why I was proud to receive the endorsements of so many unions.
Thank you, Delegate Jackson.
Mhm.
What are your top 3 priorities if you are appointed as senator, and what would be your legislative goals for this current session?
So thanks for the question. First of all, protecting the needs of our constituents in District 8 throughout the budget process, that's really important. District 8 must be represented in both the operating budget and the capital budget, and I will fight to make sure that is as the next senator. Also, ensuring community schools remain fully funded in our Maryland blueprint. I believe these schools serve as a lifeline to those schools that are in underserved areas or below the poverty line. and helping to bolster the Baltimore County Police Department's recruitment efforts, specifically so that officers come from the communities that they serve. And I know you asked for 3, but I think I'm still under the 2-minute mark. So I do want to mention another one, which is very important to me, domestic violence. You know, since I've been appointed to the board of Turnaround, I have learned that in our district in Parkville, that domestic violence is a hotspot. And so I'm committed to working with Turnaround in our county to turn around those high numbers of domestic violence in our Parkville area and in our county.
Thank you, Delegate Jackson. Can you tell us what current positions you hold today that you would need to resign from? Any conflicts of interest that we need to know about?
No, I have none.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Hey, Delegate. So our new president, Donald Trump, has promised mass deportation of immigrants as part of his major platform. What would you do as senator to protect immigrants in Baltimore County and in our district?
Well, as I've said, thanks for the question, Shannon. District 8 is made up of many diverse communities. I believe the best way of fighting back against Trump executive orders and federal mandates is through the Attorney General's office and the court system. I believe that we should do all we can to protect our citizens, and I will support any legal means to do so. For instance, the Attorney General recently joined other states challenging the executive order to end birthright citizenship. I applaud this effort and believe that this is the best path to protecting our immigrant community. I will wholeheartedly support similar legal actions as senator.
Thank you. What committee would you like to serve on in the Senate and why? And if you were assigned to the Senate Finance Committee, what would be your legislative priorities on that committee?
Well, thank you for the question, Liz. I would be honored to serve on any committee I'm assigned to. However, I believe that my service will be most effective on the Finance Committee, as it closely resembles the Economic Matters Committee in the House, for which I have served during my entire tenure. If selected to replace Senator Klaus Meyer on finance, my priorities will continue to be protecting small businesses, minority and veteran-owned businesses, consumers, and energy policy that protects the environment and creates jobs.
My question to you would be is, how do you propose the government can make life in Maryland more affordable? And what would you do as senator to offset the high cost of inflation?
Well, thank you for the question, Liz. State government must make the right budget choices, especially given the deficit we're facing. These kinds of choices must benefit working people, those who are on fixed incomes, small business owners, and entrepreneurs. I will continue to support and build upon consumer protections that prevent unscrupulous actors, corporate and otherwise, that keeps prices for basic goods and services artificially high.
Thank you. What are your plans for addressing the housing crisis in Baltimore County and the state of Maryland?
Sure, thanks for the question. There is no doubt that there is a housing crisis for many of our Maryland communities, and that we should be doing everything we can to expand access to affordable housing for District 8 families. When lower income families don't have to worry about safe and adequate housing, they can focus more of their time on keeping their family safe, productive, and together. I will continue to support policies that focus on community development and which encourages developers to build affordable housing.
Thank you.
Chuck, you're muted.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get something to drink. I'm still dying over here. To address public safety.
Sure. We need to make sure that Baltimore County Police have the tools and the resources necessary to build an effective recruitment program. I will continue to cultivate mutual respect and build better relationships between the police and communities of color. Part of this is making sure that our recruitment efforts stress hiring officers from the communities in which they serve. I will continue to fight for recreational programming funding, which helps to keep kids off the street and allows both officers and community members to interact in fun and positive environments. Lastly, making sure our men and women in uniform are provided with exceptional training is of the utmost importance. We must ensure that they have access to continual professional development, mental health services, and the best training facilities.
Thank you, Delegate. As Senator, how will you fight to protect the rights of vulnerable populations and protected classes? And are there any specific policies that you might propose or advocate for?
Protecting the most vulnerable Marylanders has always been one of my top priorities. Whether it was supporting civil rights legislation, supporting a hate crime bill, or working to ensure that state government treats everyone equally, I will continue to do whatever I can to make sure that the vulnerable portions of our citizens, of our Marylanders, are protected.
Thank you.
Delegate, for our final question tonight, we all know that our sort of beloved state senator, Kathy Klossmeyer, now county executive, has been a great leader here in the district, working with the delegates, working with the central committee, our county councilmen, our school board members, to sort of foster a unity here in the district and keep us all together. What would you do as state senator to continue that tradition and that unity here in the 8th district?
Well, thanks for the question, Shannon, but I would do just that. And I have been doing that right along with our great senator. And you all know, as Central Committee members, that sometimes a fix to some of our issues aren't legislatively. Sometimes it's funding, and so I was proud to implement programs and included you all in that to be participants. We've done things like the Summer Youth Basketball League kickoff, the Baltimore County-wide Summer Youth Basketball League. We did things like delivering toys to community schools in District 8, and the list goes on and on. So I look forward to continuing that relationship, making it even stronger, involving you guys and what's going on in District 8, and making sure that we're reaching out to all of our populations in our district.
Thank you very much, Delegate Jackson. At this time, we want to give you an opportunity to leave us with any remarks or comments.
Sure.
3 minutes for you to do that.
Thank you. Well, thank you for taking the time to listen to my vision for District 8 and for what my tenure as senator will look like. I hope that by now you have a better understanding of who I am as a person and as a legislator. But I think we all know that just having a vision is not enough. Our next senator must also have the tools and experience to achieve results. Service in the legislature, after all, is about meeting the needs of one's constituent, excuse me. I have spent the past 5.5 years gaining that experience, and I think my track record of bringing investment back to our community speaks for itself. Legislatively, my focus on passing consumer protection legislation has allowed me the opportunity to protect Marylanders from predatory actors. My office has also helped thousands of constituents navigate the sometimes confusing world of state government. Whether it was issues with state agencies, working through the unemployment process, especially during the pandemic, reaching out to code enforcement for quality of life complaints, or working with police for more serious issues, just to name a few, my office has a long history of helping those in need get results that they deserve. To be successful, I have needed to form partnerships with elected officials and departments at all levels of government. As senator, I see these relationships strengthening even more for the benefit of our district and our county. As I said in my opening statement, District 8 is not a monolith, but rather is made up of many distinct and diverse communities. It is hard to overestimate the importance of understanding the nuances of each of these individual communities and tailoring solutions to solve their specific problems. My strategy has always been working closely with our local community leaders to address their problems and accomplish their goals. As senator, I will continue this approach and ensure that each community has access to all that government has to offer so that local communities have what they need to be successful. I have lived in District 8 for most of my life. My kids have grown up here, and I will continue to make memories in this community. I want what is best for our district, because I am one of its members, and I will do whatever I can to make it a better place for my family and all families to live. Representing District 8 has been the honor of my life. I could think of no higher calling than that of public service, and I have strived, as the saying goes, to be the change that I want to see in the world. I think that in this regard, with plenty of help from community leaders and colleagues, that we have been successful in bringing about positive change. Our work is far from complete, but I will always strive to do what is best for the district, for Baltimore County, and for the state of Maryland. I ask that you allow me the opportunity to continue this legacy of success as the next senator from District 8. Thank you all.
Thank you.
you. Delegate Jackson, at this time, we will ask that you exit the room and you can come back into the room. I think we gave you some instructions about what time you can re-enter, but just if you are in the waiting room, just wait. If you'd like to be re-entered, we will readmit you back into the room. But the District 8 members will go away and deliberate, and then we will come back and take a vote on the decision here tonight. But we thank you for the interview.
Thank you all.
Dr. Wood, it looks like Delegate Jackson has indeed left the room.
Well, that is a nice opportunity for us to transition to the deliberations that you all in Legislative District 8 will proceed to conduct. So we will move you all into the breakout rooms and give you an opportunity to deliberate on what you have just heard from both of your very excellent candidates. Let's see what we have here. Our pre-assignment went away. So I'm going to assign you now to the room. You should all be in room 1. Please come back to the main room and let me know if I do not put you in room 1, Legislative District 8 members. So Brad, Chuck, Liz, Margaret, Shannon, and where are you, Kim?
See me? For this call, I'll probably show up as the other Baltimore County Dems. I don't know. I can't remember now how we did it, but my name should show up under. You're looking for my email or for me on the?
I'm looking for your actual name. Let me see
Right
what
at the
you
top on my list in the host section, but I don't know if that's the same for you.
At the top of your list. I tell you what, you can if you can put her in. I have all 5 of you except for Kim. Let me see if I can grab Kim real quick. Does have Kim Harrison, but I don't think that's you. I have all 5 of you in room 1.
You know what
Shannon,
I can do?
what is that?
I can come into the Zoom room under a different one. Would that help? If you can't see me here, I can.
I don't know why I can't see you though.
If you're the host, you may have to assign yourself to it as well. They may not allow.
You know what? That might be the problem, Kim. Since you're the host, you may have to assign yourself to room 1.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe especially since she may be on the recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I got a something here that might be a good idea. Let me see if I can do it.
How
All right.
much time would you all like?
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
How much time would you all like? 15 minutes?
Does it automatically reroute us back into the room?
Yeah, it would be automatic.
Well, I think
It would give you a warning, but it would automatically reroute you.
we might need more than 15, but if we did it in 15, certainly we could leave and come back, right? Or
That's fine. How much time? The question is, how much time would you like? 20? 30?
Let's start with 20.
20. I think that would be great.
Okay, so what I just did, I came into the room.
In progress.
It's a different one.
Okay.
So you should be able to assign me.
Okay.
Did that do it?
Let me see. Hold one quick second. There you are. Yes, I got you. For those individuals who are not a part of this deliberation, please do not go to a breakout room. Please stay in the main room until our legislative 8 members move into the breakout, back into the main room. We'll see if we can't get some music for you.
So then move this onto the YouTube stream so that private thing goes public.
Dr. Wood, it didn't move me. Let me try and see. Oh, it's got my other one. Okay, never mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment in time, the individuals on Legislative District 8 are taking the opportunity to work through deliberations as to the interviews that they have heard. And what I would like to ask you all to do is be patient with this process. I'm sure it will not take an extremely long time, but they will go through a process of having a dialogue. And when they finish their dialogue, they will come out and we will go through a process where they will vote publicly by roll call for the candidates of their choice. But this gives them a moment to compare notes and share information that they feel is valuable for making the selection of the potential candidate that they desire to put into place. I am going to ask if the person on iPhone BCGO identify themselves for us, please.
This is Chief Robert McCullough, Baltimore County Police. That's all.
Okay, great. Chief, can we rename you?
You can. That's up to you.
I'm going to just name you Chief here. And that's, you said Baltimore County Police?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This way we know who all the members that are participating are, and we will have a list of those individuals based on how they signed in. At this moment, we really do not have the intention of identifying individuals to have a discussion because this is a deliberation time for the committee, and I would prefer for the audience not to get involved in either process or candidate selection. So I am going to refrain from calling on individuals to have a discussion about anything that we are doing as part of the procedures this evening. I appreciate everyone's willingness to be patient and work with us as we move through this very delicate and very serious process. So with that being said, I would like to ask the chief, since you are here with us and you have all of Baltimore County, maybe you'd like to give us any information you would like to share with us that might be valuable information that we can share with our friends and neighbors as we move through this process.
The only thing I would say is I was just here just to observe the process for informational purposes. But I would also like to say that I hope, the most important thing to me as chief of police and my agency is that, that the person that's selected first and foremost be concerned with public safety in Baltimore County and be a supporter of the Baltimore County Police Department.
Well, I think we love the fact that you have given us that piece of information. It is important to all of us that public safety is number one. And so one of the things that we're going to do is this is a time right now that public safety is really interesting because it is cold outside. People are needing places to go. And so we need to look out for our friends and neighbors. We need to make sure everybody has a level of protection. They underserved have an identified environment to be in, that there is food and all kinds of different services that can be provided to them. So this is an opportunity for us to think beyond ourselves when it comes to how we are going to approach this time. We've had some really cold days last week, and many people have suffered incidences associated with freezing pipes and floods and all those sort of things in this area. So just be mindful and reach out and make sure your neighbors are okay and touch them to make sure everything is moving forward as they should. I do want to, I did want to talk a little bit about that, Sharonda. I did actually have something pulled up, but I think I accidentally closed it. And what Sharonda had just put a note to me saying is, can we talk about the Democratic National Convention activities that are to be worked on or initiated and started on Thursday? So if you'll bear with me a minute, I did have some information I did want to share with you. One of the things that I do find important is that if others have information on the DNC, that might be something. Linda, have you attended any of the recent meetings to the DNC? You may unmute to respond.
Yes, that's actually why I had my hand up. I
Okay.
wanted to use this opportunity to talk about it. I mean, I know it was assumed otherwise, but um, I went to a training and there was another I had a training last Friday and there was another training day yesterday.
So I'm sorry, Linda, for interrupting you. Can you do me a favor? There are many on here don't know what the DNC is, or so can you
Okay.
just sort of back up just like a tad and just share a bit of a fuller story?
All right, sure. Basically, what we have is the Democratic National Committee is going to be having the selection of the new national chair this week. It's going to take place on Saturday. And they've previously come to Maryland. Maryland's been the host state, so this is like the second time in relatively short period of time that Maryland's going to be the host state. Before, when it was in Baltimore, they asked for volunteers, and they did so again this time. A lot of the volunteers are coming from the Prince George's area, but not all of them. I'm going to be volunteering, and some other people from the Baltimore area. They had two opportunities for training, one last Friday and one yesterday. If people were going to actually be one of the folks doing the registration task, they had an opportunity for you to get involved in that yesterday. They're going to have an opportunity for folks who are going to be down there on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to come midday tomorrow physically to the site, which is the National Harbor, the Gaylord Hotel, and press from all over the country are coming. Elected officials at every level from all over the country are coming. You don't have to be a voting member to attend. And I know that we've sent out notices to people saying if you're interested in going on any of those days, please, state that you're interested. Tomorrow evening, there's going to be a chairs reception in the evening. Tomorrow evening, however, will be not a regular working day. It will be the setup day and early registration from 4 until 7. So the real first day starts around 7:30 in the morning on a Thursday. It'll run from about 7:30 to 7 o'clock on Thursday. Again, there'll be some evening activities. Same thing on Friday. On Saturday, it's scheduled to run until 7:30, I mean 7 o'clock. But to be honest with you, the last time they had it here, the vote was taken around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's when they made their selection. There are people who are candidates listed on the site. You can go there, see who the candidates are. Of course, our former governor is one of the leading choices, and he has made a case at multiple. He and other candidates went to 4 different events that where they laid out their case for why they should be selected. His main case, from what I can see that he's laying out, is that here in Maryland, we stand more at risk and are more vulnerable than a lot of other states to some of the machinations that our new president you saw implemented today. And it's true. It's going to have an awful disproportionate amount of impact on Maryland and some of the other states, especially those that have gone through a lot of recent tragedies uh, because of weather conditions and so forth and fires. So he wants to be that person to support those kinds of things. But there are very good candidates, I have to tell you, with very excellent ideas that I also heard from the Midwest. And so please go online, listen to some of the things that those folks have to say. If you come, you won't get a vote, but you will get to go to the caucus breakouts. You will get to hear what they have to say. You will get to put your opinion in when you go into those breakout sessions so that moving forward, whoever is selected, and they're going to be selecting a chair, vice chair, and secretary. They will carry a lot of those ideas forward. And I did see that happen after the last time. It's a great, fun political, if you're a political junkie, that is the place to be.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. That is an awesome report about the DNC. I'm sure there are a number of people here who are, as you say, political junkies, or individuals who want to be highly aware of the political activities that are going on, not only in our state, but around the country, will be there so they can hear and see exactly what's going on and how what is going to happen will be impacting Maryland. We already have fairly major impacts, but as you mentioned about some of the things that are happening already with a new leadership in the White House, we all need to be cognizant of the fact that there are things that are happening and there are things that are happening on top of things that are happening. And so just as the funding got paused, a judge just declared that actual executive order to be unlawful. And so we are going to have these kind of activities over the course of the next 3 to 4 years, where everything that happens that are extremist activities are going to be challenged, and many of them will be challenged legally and constitutionally to determine whether or not we will have and maintain a normal type of life that we need to be able to have in order to, just basically survive from day to day. The activities that are going on now are impacting the middle class in a huge way. And we just need to be cognizant of the fact that, we're in a situation now where we need to, in any way we can, try to contribute to the betterment of our society and how we need to progress forward as Democrats representing our communities.
Can I just say one other thing? The president is so determined to get what he wants as only those folks that he feels are going to be loyal to him and to the Republican Party in, that this evening he said, yes, there were a number of people that he basically fired. And then the courts intervened and said, wait a minute, these folks have rights. Not all of them are political appointees. Some come under, the civil service arrangements. And so this is the offer he put on the table. If you will leave and leave now, and you're a Democrat, a person that was not supportive of him, and you're in one of those categories where he's decided, I want you gone, he said that he will give you 8 months of pay to leave. Please don't take it. Please don't take it, because there's no way you'll be able to get a job back at that level again, and make them keep you on the job, and keep our government diverse in terms of the viewpoints, because eventually his 4-year term will be over, and we don't want him to have done with the federal government system what's already happened to the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Linda. Could you lower your hand for me, please?
Sure.
Give me one moment.
Is anyone else going to the convention?
I am on Saturday, Shazia.
Good. Anyone else?
Sharonda on Friday.
on Friday. There's a lot of socializing in the evening, I have to tell you. It's a lot of fun. Anyone else?
Thank you for that information. We have just a few more minutes to sit and resonate on some of the things that have been stated already. While we are waiting, let me just share a few things with you. And I apologize, I forgot to turn my camera back on. One of the things I want to share with you is that we here this evening are going through a process. This process is how we go about selecting our state representatives when we have a vacancy. And what you need to know is that once the deliberations are completed, the 6 members that are a part of the District 8 will come forth out of the break room, and their time is up. And so I will close out the break room in like a moment. Okay. So let me see if they still need extra time before I close them out. Unfortunately, they did need a few more moments to walk through what they're doing. So I just wanted to finish telling you about the process that we're going to be doing. When they do come back, they need about 10 or 15 more minutes. When they do come back, we will have them go through a process where they will publicly vote for a candidate. They will publicly vote for a candidate. And since we only had 2 candidates, they will only be able to vote for Delegate Harry Bendari or Delegate Carl Jackson. And once they make their vote, they have a majority vote, then they will make their nomination to me to provide to the Central Committee. The Central Committee, all of you who are members of the Central Committee, we will be meeting again. Just so you know, I'll probably re-announce this at the end, but we will be meeting again if you are a voting member. Everybody is welcome. However, those that get to vote will only be voting. And you have to be a Central Committee elected official or selected official to vote. And we will be affirming the nomination / recommendation that will be coming forward this evening from the Legislative District 8 members, who will provide you with their thoughts. That they won't even discuss their thoughts. They will actually only provide you with a vote and a nomination. With that being said, we meet on Thursday evening, and I know some of you are planning to go to the convention. It will be virtual, so make sure you get on. We will only stay on long enough to do our vote. I will put forward the motion to you to do our vote as a Central Committee to affirm what the District 8 members have put forward to us as a nomination. Then I will take that once we affirm it, believing that it would be affirmed. I would take that recommendation and put it in letter form to the governor. And that would be the entire Central Committee's recommendation that would move forward to Governor Moore. And at that point, it will be in the hands of the governor to make the ultimate decision about filling of the vacancy. So I think I've given you all the details we can give you. The process has been very transparent. It has been very public. We have notified people through news, media, social media, verbally, by email, etc. And so we want to tell you now that we appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here. And we really, really thank you for having this higher level of interest in ensuring that our democracy holds steadfast to where it needs to be by supporting those who has to go through this very rigorous process to ensure that we have an excellent candidate that moves forward to the Senate seat. So I applaud them because it's a rough road when you know that you're under the microscope to make something wonderful happen for a whole group of people. So I love the fact that they have stepped up to the challenge. They've done a remarkably wonderful job. And whatever their decision is, we're going to embrace it and move it in the direction that it needs to keep going forward. Now, with that being said, all of you know now that next meeting is Thursday, January 30th. I don't think I'm wrong. Thursday, January 30th at 7 p.m. I will send out a Zoom after this meeting tonight so that you can come forward for a vote and be able to, and we will post our meeting on our website for those of you who are not members. The meeting will be posted on the website. If you want to just sit in like you're doing now, you have the freedom and the ability to do so. And I also wanted to reach back in again and thank Linda, thank Sharonda for the idea, and thank Linda for giving us that brief report on the convention and the matters of how we are moving forward. Thank you all so much. It's great when we can work as a team and make some things happen in the way that they should. I will entertain a couple of maybe questions that I might be able to answer. Do we have any elected officials on at this moment?
Looks like Delegate Phillips.
Delegate Phillips? Would
Good
you like to
evening,
have a
Madam
couple of
Chair.
words? Good evening, sir. How are you?
I am great. I just want to thank you and the Central Committee for the work that you're doing. And as my Speaker of the House says, maintaining decency and order in the process. And I'm just here to observe. So thank you all very much.
Well, thank you for being here with us. It's a very important moment for us and a very important moment for the individuals who are part of District 8. Any others? Okay. Ms. Huffman?
Oh, I just want to give a warm goodbye to one of the member of the press. He might not want to be mentioned, but Danny's on the line, and his last day with the banner will be on Friday. And I just want to wish him well as he takes on a new position at the Politico. And he's going to have a great time in DC reporting on all this mess.
Well, Danny, do you want to have a closing goodbye for us as you move to DC? You won't be far away and we won't forget you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I won't be far away. I mean, please keep in touch. I've only been in Baltimore County for a few months, but so it's weird to be going so soon. But again, I won't be far away. So please keep in touch, everyone.
Well, thank you, Danny. That's awesome. And thank you for even though you've been here only a short time, the work you've done, that surely you have represented Baltimore County and the area well. And we look forward to seeing good things come out of DC for you.
Thank you, thank you. And I'll be keeping a close eye on Baltimore County too.
Well, thank you. I don't have any music. You don't want to hear me sing. And so maybe you could turn on some of your own music for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll be right back with you. And those 5 or 10 minutes will go so fast you won't even realize we had them. So take 10 minutes, get yourself a glass of water, a cup of coffee, bathroom break, and we'll be right with you shortly. Thank you so much for your patience. Good evening, members of the public and the Central Committee. It looks like our legislative group is back. They have rejoined us. Let me see. Is Margaret with us? Was she able to get out of the breakout room? Margaret?
It'll
don't
bring
see
her
her
back
here, no.
automatically in 60 seconds if she doesn't select to leave the room manually.
Yeah, she's got about 13 seconds to come out. And it'll put her in with us. So I'll wait for Margaret to join us.
Just checking, do we have anybody in the waiting room? I'm not
We
on the other
do.
device.
We have one person in the waiting room.
Okay.
What time were our delegates back?
Only about Delegate Jackson came back during the deliberation time, and I did ask him to step off and come back 10 minutes later. He just got back maybe a minute or maybe 3 minutes ago. Maybe when you heard from me, he might have came back during that time. But he's still in the waiting room. We don't have the other delegate in the waiting room at this time. All right, Margaret is with us, so we will proceed. So everyone, I just want to welcome you back. Our Legislative District 8 members are back, and they are with us now. And I will go through a process of calling them. We are now going to call for the vote for the delegate, for the senatorial seat and the delegates who have applied for that seat. What I will do is I will call you by name. It is a roll call vote, and I will ask you either Delegate Carl Jackson or Delegate Harry Bendari, and your response needs to be the name of the person that you are affirming.
Just checking, Dr. Wood. Nobody's in the waiting room?
Did you want them in while we are doing the open vote?
Yes, yeah.
They are both there now.
Great. All set.
Hold on. They'll be in 1 second. I think they might be both here. Delegate Bendari and Delegate Jackson are both present. We are now getting ready to go into our voting phase, public voting phase. It will be done by roll call. So I will call the names of the candidates who have applied, and the individuals that I have called from the roll call will respond with the name of the person they are voting for. Okay, so with that being said, I think everybody understands the rules. Okay, Miss Elizabeth Brown.
My vote is for.
Go ahead. Please do. Please.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, nope, you didn't do anything except do exactly what I said. You go right ahead.
My vote is for Delegate Jackson.
Okay, so let me just put this in this box. Ms. Forte, Margaret.
Delegate Jackson.
Okay. Ms. Croner.
My vote is for Delegate Carl Jackson.
Okay. Mr. Kropfelder.
Delegate Carl Jackson.
And Ms. Ross.
I'm voting for Delegate Carl Jackson.
And Mr. Sheets.
I'm voting for Delegate Carl Jackson.
With that being said, that is a majority, unanimous vote of 6 to 0. And so I am going to ask the members of Legislative District 8 to please provide me with your recommendation.
The members of District 8 hereby recommend and nominate Delegate Carl Jackson to fill the Senate vacancy left vacant by Senator Kathy Klausmeyer.
Thank you for your recommendation. In hearing your recommendation, thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your efforts, your time, your energy. Thank you both candidates. You were both excellent in your presentations to the Central Committee, to your legislative district. This nomination will move forward to the Central Committee. We will meet again on Thursday evening, 7 p.m. We will meet to affirm the selection that has been provided to us this evening. And after that, a letter will be provided to the governor based on the nomination that has been presented to you and to the Central Committee for a vote of affirmation. Are there any questions? I thank you for your service, Legislative District Members 8. Thank you so much. You have done a phenomenal job. Thank you, candidates. You both were excellent. You did an awesome job of presenting your case. And I think either or both of you would serve us well as a senator. And I really, really trust and believe that you will carry on the work that we need you to provide for your constituents and for our community in Baltimore County as you feel that we desire and that we need. So thank you again for your service, all of you. With that being said, I would like to call for a motion to adjourn your interviewing process.
So moved.
I know y'all want to go home, but y'all don't want to go home because you're already home, but you got to move.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor, just signify by unmuting and saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you so much for your attendance and your great work. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.